Hello and welcome to Wednesdays with Barbie. I'm your host, Eric Houston, and I'm here, as always, with Barbie. Barbie, how are you?
I'm just fine. I think it's a great day. It's a good day to be breathing and whatever.
It is a really nice day.
It is. It's beautiful out.
Well, I want to thank you for coming today, Barbie, just like always.
Okay.
Okay. And I know that today we're going to be talking about something kind of serious at the start of the show. We're going to be talking about your sister, Margaret.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Now, Margaret, she passed away on February 3rd.
Yes.
And she was your sister.
Yes, my oldest sister. My oldest in the family.
Yeah, so she was, now remind me, how many siblings did you have?
Well, other than me, there was 10 more.
Right. And she was the oldest of 11.
Yep.
And
She was the leader of the pack.
That's right. And we have a picture of her on our big TV this week or this month. That's Margaret there when she was how old, Barbie?
15.
15, that's right. And on the screen right now, we have a picture of you and her together, right?
Probably was at one of her birthday parties.
Okay, pretty recent, you think?
Well, her birthday was usually in the fall of the year, so it might have been a couple years ago. Yeah,
Okay.
I would say just a few years ago.
Okay. So now, but so she was the oldest of 11. And what was the age gap between the two of you?
20 years.
20 years. So by the time you were born, she was already out of the house?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I was an aunt when I was 2 years old, so.
For Margaret's oldest daughter?
Yes, Carolyn.
For Karen? Okay. And so I understand you didn't really see a whole lot of that part of the family while you were growing up.
Not when I was really little. I mean, we got together and we had our big get-togethers, and you look back at some pictures and you kind of laugh and think, holy cow. And that was when some of the others were starting to get married, and so they were in their early 20s, and stuff. So, but it was quite a bunch.
Yeah, it was quite. In fact, I think we have a picture of the whole family, and that's picture number 2. Lowell is running our picture generator today, so if he could bring up picture number 2 for us, we'll see this is the whole Johnson family, right?
Well, that was everybody but me, because
Okay.
I think that picture was taken in about 1938, and I wasn't born until the next year.
Okay. But this is everybody else. This is all the brothers and sisters.
Sisters, mom and dad, and the twins.
It's a lovely family.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We had a lot of family pictures, I'll tell you, over the years.
Now, by the time you were born, Margaret was already married to her husband, correct? And that was Dale.
Yes.
And I think we have a picture of him as number 3. Yep, that's him, right?
Yes, good-looking guy.
Good-looking guy, good-looking gal.
Yes, and he was really tall.
Yeah. And you told me he was a butcher.
Yes, he was. He was from a long line of that. His whole family, way back to, I think, great uncles or something. So it was in the family line how he got into it, and that's what he did. He put up a nice meat market shop, and Margaret stood by him and helped him with it and did a lot of things.
And now, one of the things you told me that she did there was there was something she made?
Oh, yes, she made, I'm sure we might have gotten some sometime or another, but it's so long ago I can't remember. But she made, and they sold wonderful potato salad. Anyone would want to get a hold of her potato salad.
And she was quite a cook anyway.
Yes, she was. She was a good cook.
Yeah. And I understand that she was such a good cook that when she first moved out of the house, that helped her.
Yes, I think so. Yes, because she had been cooking and was taking care of her family or as a housekeeper and all that. So she used her skills very much so there. And cleaning. She was a good housekeeper.
And you said she used something called a mango machine?
I'm not sure what the word is, how you say it. I think it's a mango.
Oh, a mango machine.
A mango. It's a type of ironing board that's on a roller, like would be in a professional shop. And that would be something pretty fancy to have in just a ordinary home.
Right, and you told me she got a pretty good wage.
Had a good what?
Good wage. She was getting paid well.
No, you mean $5 a week?
Well, I mean, for that time.
Well, at that time, yeah, that was good. I mean, man, if you make 50 cents a week, you're lucky.
Yeah.
So really, yeah, and she knew how to make her money produce.
Right, how to
things.
stretch it.
Stretch it is right, or save it. She was good at that.
And you told me about Christmases.
Yes, Christmases and our birthdays. Of course, I was pretty young, so, but I'm sure I got something too. But for our birthdays, this is what I heard from my brother, was that the story Paul said was that Margaret, with her money, was that she made sure that all the younger ones always got a gift for their birthday or for Christmases, no matter what. So it was very important to her to make sure that we were felt that we were loved. I would put it that way.
Well,
And you know, this means a lot. You know, when someone goes, is to have that good feeling about them. Is that that's what their life was about.
Yeah, and it sounds like she did a really good job of taking care of you and everyone else in the family.
I think she did. She was a good lady.
Yeah, and I understand. And so Christmas, getting back to Christmas, that was one of the times that you did get to see her and her family, see Margaret's family, because you and one of the daughters,
Carolyn.
Well, what did you do?
Carolyn and I, we both had been taking accordion lessons.
Yeah.
And I think, if I can remember right, I was maybe in anywhere from 3rd to 5th grade, so that makes us pretty young.
Yeah.
But we had these little 12-bass accordions, you know, they look like a concertina. But we practiced, and we got together and had a lot of fun, laughing and stuff. And practicing our Christmas songs we were going to play for the family. We had to put on a little audition.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Did you get the gig?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay.
We got the claps, you know, everybody clapped for us. And
Now, I think we have a picture. If we could have picture number 4, Lowell. Picture number 4. This is Margaret's daughters and son. And so, which one of these is Carolyn?
Carolyn is the one with the pretty big beehive, the one to the right.
Okay. And what's
With
the
the
other sister's name?
And that's Joyce, and in the middle is Wally. That's his nickname. His real name is Wallace, and his dad's name was Dale Wallace.
Oh,
So
okay.
he came up with the Wally, and Wally has been a real godsend to his mother. When Margaret was widowed a few years ago, Wally was, and Joyce too, and Carolyn lived down in Florida, if I'm not mistaken, and that's where she passed away a few years ago.
And so Wally, we have to thank for a lot of what we're doing today, because Wally helped us get these pictures together.
Oh, he sure was a big help.
He was. And I think we actually have, if we can see picture 5, I think we have a more recent picture of Wally and his mom and one of his sisters. So we'll bring that up. That's
Oh,
Wally
yes,
there,
this
right?
was at a birthday party. Yeah. Well, they always say, you know, take it, it'll look natural. So Margaret's making a face, but, you know, that's usually the good ones.
That's right. Those are the fun ones.
Yeah, they
The
are.
ones you remember.
And that might have been her 88th birthday or 90th, I don't know.
Because she got to be 91, right?
She lived to be 91. I know she had gotten a permanent then, so she always liked to have her hair curly. She teased me about my hair being so straight, but I said, it's sure easy care.
So special thanks to Wally for helping us get all of it
yes.
together. But moving on with you and Margaret, so you didn't see a lot of her when you were growing up, but you started seeing more of her when you got married, and you started seeing them, you know, kind of as a couple, right?
Yes. I can remember one time we came back. I was married to a fellow in the Air Force, and we were stationed down in Omaha. So when we came back at, I think it was probably at Christmas time or whatever, and we went over to visit at their home, and there was quite a few of the family. It might have been a gathering for all of us to be there. And it was so fun because when my 3 little girls were pretty small, everyone just loves to get around little kids. So it was nice for my family to get to see the kids too when they were little, because we weren't always up here that often, because that was a good 8-hour trip or more.
And you told me that Dale, he had a hobby. He liked making the family movies, right?
Oh yes, he was really good at that, and as the years went by, he really got to be quite an artist of it, you know, in that. And he done a real lot of that. And we had a lot of good, fun movies to watch. This past New Year's, Martin and I were watching a lot of the old movies, and it was fun and interesting because since I've been working here now, it's what to look for and everything, and how when you first start out with movie tape projection or you're taking the pictures, sometimes you get a little bit carried away and you go too fast or something. But when he made it so interesting and asked us questions and went down individually and had our voices, and as so many have left in our family, you know, have went on to the other place, and it's fun to go back and reminisce all the wonderful memories we really do have.
Yeah, and that's a treasure.
Oh, it is such a treasure.
That's a treasure. And I know that Margaret had hobbies too.
Yes.
She collected.
Oh yes, yes.
In fact, we have a picture of part of one of her collections. Let's put up picture 6.
That's her little tiny ones. Oh, those are cute.
And what are all of these?
All of those are little tiny angels. That was only an itty bitty fraction of what all she's got. She's got so many that then she's got this one that's on the table. I had given her.
I think we're going to try and get a close up of this.
And that glows. It goes off and on and off and on. Has a little battery to it. And I gave her that at one of either her birthdays or Christmas or something. And then she has.
And this was an angel that you got for her.
Yes, yeah. It intrigued me because it does go off and on. It's kind of hard to see that, but it changes. And then her other, well, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, how many angels did she have?
Oh, like I talked to Wally even this morning. He said, you know, I don't think we've even taken account. I'll bet you she must have at least 200.
Yeah,
I'm going to put
that's a lot.
200. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's got them displayed so nicely. She's got a little small curio. And that thing is just packed with angels. It's just beautiful. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do with them for over the years, so he says, I get to have what I want. So, boy, I'll have to start a new collection now. Yeah. I have a collection of cardinals.
You do?
Yes.
I haven't seen this.
Oh, really? I'll have to take a picture of it. Martin had built me a very nice looking, I would call it, it's supposed to be a china closet, but it's not used for that. It's used for my collection of things. And he built it out of some old doors that somebody had I guess you'd call it a built-in dining area, and they wanted to redo it and took all these out. And my brother Bob and Martin got together and went to a garage sale, and they picked them up, and he says, I got an idea, I'm going to build you a cabinet. He did, and it is really a treasure. It's so pretty.
Well, I would love to see a picture of it.
Yeah, I will have to take one. Never thought of that. But boy, that thing is packed full of my cardinals. As you know, I liked.
Well, I know that you like cardinals, but I didn't know you had a collection of them.
Oh, yes.
And Margaret had another collection.
Oh, yes.
And we have picture number 7 for that. We have some of her little clocks here.
Yes, her clocks. Yeah, she had quite a collection of clocks. There was a couple already missing from there, but there was one that my sister got that was really cute.
Yeah.
It looked like an old, I don't know what you'd call it. It had the bells on both sides so that when the clock worked, you know, ding dong, you know. So it was cute, but she had fun with them. She must have had, I guess at one time they counted them, she had about 75. And of course, this is one of them with a picture of her.
That's right. We have one of her clocks right here, which you could have seen in that picture too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been talking about, you know, kind of how you guys started spending more. So you started spending more time together, you know, when you were both in couples and married and things, and then really you started spending the most time together when Dale passed away.
I think so. I tried to keep track of her, and you know, she quit driving and everything, and I know it was a little distance to go over there because she lived in Maple Grove and we lived up the north side, you know, in Blaine and that. But I try to make a day to go and visit with her and take her out. We'd go to a country buffet. That was her favorite thing. Once in a while, we'd end up at Walmart or something in the shop. But I tried to call her at least 2 or 3 times a week. That's hard now because I still want to call her up and say, Margaret, I mean, I can hear her voice. What you up to? Oh, really nothing much. I've been watching Deal or No Deal on TV. That was her big thing. And then she'd play games on the computer. She really was quite an advanced skill for that age. She
Really?
wasn't, yeah, she wasn't one to sit around. Not, I mean, she lived by herself. So I say, I don't know if I really do so well that way. Maybe I would. I maybe finally start reading more or whatever. And thank goodness, she had very good eyes and
Yeah.
everything. And her hearing, I'll have to say one thing, was really comical because she had bad hearing. But then I'd call her and she'd say, Barb, just wait a minute. I got to take my hearing aid out so I can hear you. And I thought, this is really comical, but it was the truth. So she said, now I'm hearing better.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys got to be so close.
Yes, I am too.
And and she was ill for a little while. And
Yes, she was right at the last. But in the long run, when you really compare someone having a real lingering illness, that she went quickly.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is that you've been telling me more and more about her and about your relationship over the last several weeks, and I can tell how much you loved her and how much she loved you, and I know how much you're gonna miss her.
I am. Yeah.
And I know that I know there was one last thing you wanted to talk about involving this, or something Wally wanted you to talk about a little bit.
Oh, yes. But before I get to that, I've got something I wanted to say.
Oh, please.
One thing about Margaret I've been thinking about was that there's a scripture verse of Philippians 1:3 that says, I thank my God upon every remembrance of you, and to think about the very positive sides. Don't think about and dwell on the things that would be not make any sense, because it doesn't do any good. I want to know that I loved her thoroughly all the way to the end. But as far as this other, what Wally was talking about was that he was very concerned about this, and I don't know if they had that already done before that she was in the hospital or what, because fortunately she got to stay in the hospital. A lot of times they want you to go to a nursing home when she was in for almost 2 weeks when they knew she was dying. So they let her stay there. She was over at the beautiful new Maple Grove Hospital. And he said it really makes a lot of sense when a person has a health directive or a living will. Some people don't understand that, or they don't like to talk about it, but it's really advisable to do all that beforehand if you can. It saves a lot of heartache, it saves a lot of stress, and in the last moments of what you're doing, that these are things that the wishes of the person really wanted. I, having been widowed when I was 36, I know what that's like. And it was 6 months before my first husband passed away that we went to the mortuary to be talking about all this stuff, and it sounds unreal, but once you've ever went through it, you know how important it really is. It helps the family all the way through. So whether you're real young or not, we just don't know. We don't like to talk about those things, but it's important.
It is important. And again, I thank you for taking this time to talk about your sister. And can you give us that Bible verse one more time? I thought that was beautiful.
Yes, it's Philippians 1:3. I thank my God upon every remembrance of you.
I think that's wonderful, Barbie.
Yeah, it's a very lasting one. I mean, it can be for anybody. I love it.
It's fantastic. So on that note, I think we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. North Metro 14 is your channel. Everything we show is made by people just like you. Amateur TV producers using our free, state-of-the-art equipment. Want to get started? Take our free classes in studio production, professional cameras, and computer editing. NMTV also offers free equipment checkout for our cameras, lights, and microphones. Everything you need to make your own TV show. For more information, call 763-231-2803 or visit northmetrotv.com.
Coon Creek Watershed District serves you through 6 programs: protecting wetlands, preventing water pollution, working to prevent flooding, planning for groundwater, creeks, and lakes, providing for public stewardship, and gathering good information. Managing water resources for over 50 years. Coon Creek Watershed District, 763-755-0975, or on the web at cooncreekwd.org.
All right, and welcome back. I am still Eric Houston, and I am still here with Barbie.
Hi.
Hi. So, Barbie, we are all decorated today for St. Patrick's Day. So what does St. Patrick's Day mean to you?
Oh, what a question. It really don't mean anything to me other than I think it's a fun holiday.
Yeah.
It's the Irish's holiday, but we can all be Irish for one day out of the year. I do have a great nephew that was born on St. Patrick's Day.
You do?
So, yes.
What's his name?
Oh, you would ask me that. I'm going to say, well, I mean, they had 4 boys, so I kind of think it's either Jed or Jesse.
Okay.
One of the two.
But he was born on
It's
St.
my
Patrick's
nephews.
Day.
Yes, he was, yeah.
Well, that's good.
But St. Patrick's Day is kind of a cheerful time. I think of flowers, and the spring is coming, the next month is Easter, so look forward to some fun shows coming up. Boy, Eric and I are going to make spring full of flowers and blossoms.
We're going to get lost in all the flowers.
Oh, we are. We're going to have
Okay.
I'm going to go and find the best florist around that'll give us flowers too.
Now, the other thing about this time of the year is that last night, the night before we taped this anyway, was the big Oscar ceremony. Did you watch any of that?
No, I don't watch it.
You don't care for that.
No, I don't care for it. No.
But I do know there is one award ceremony you do watch, the CMAs.
Oh, Country Music Awards, yes. Not so much now as in the past.
Yeah.
In the past, he had it was well worth, I shouldn't say this, but it was well worth watching. And the songs were more interesting as far as I'm concerned. Country music has changed so much that, oh well, I could take it or leave it.
But there was a time.
Oh yes, I wouldn't miss it.
So who is the best country music performer in your opinion?
Well, one of the very best was Eddie Arnold,
Yeah.
Johnny Cash, Anne Murray, Loretta Lynn, Kitty Wells. A lot of those good old timers. You get some of that old time music, and I mean, I grew up on that. We did our house clean on Saturdays, and that's what we listened to keep us going with our work.
Now what about Dolly Parton?
Oh, Dolly Parton, isn't she a cutie though? Oh, I think everybody would, any girl would love to be built like her, huh? She's a cutie. She's got a beautiful voice.
She does, and a theme park.
Oh, what?
A theme. She has
Oh,
a
yes,
Dollywood-
yes, she does, yes.
Yes.
And I like some of her songs as duets with different ones.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah, have always been good.
Now, what do you like so much about Eddie Arnold?
Oh, it's that he could yodel, yodel, Eddie hoo hoo. Well, try and yodel.
You want me to try and yodel?
Well, we used to try it.
Well,
Yodel, hee, up the load.
All right,
yeah.
give me one more yodel and I'll try.
Yodel, hee, hee.
Yodel ho ho.
Well, that's what it's all about,
Okay.
fun. We try and copy it, but maybe if you practice long enough,
Maybe.
we really could do it.
Well, you know what?
What the heck, you got to
You
think
can
positive.
teach me.
You teach me too.
Okay, we'll learn from each other.
Well, remember when we've danced
We
right
have
out here?
danced.
Oh, that's fun, yeah.
Now, I know you, and so you listened a lot to Grand Ole Opry when you were growing up.
Yes, yes.
And you
And
told
the
me you
good old
even,
movies of Bonanza. Bonanza?
Bonanza.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think it was every Sunday night or something.
Yeah.
That was one good show.
But getting away from the Ponderosa for a second.
Okay.
You told me you've actually been to the Grand Ole Opry.
Yes, I was. At one time, my niece and I drove down through there, went all the way out east, and when we came back through Nashville, other people have said this too, but the Nashville is so clean you could eat off the streets. I'm serious. It's such a clean city that too bad a lot more of them aren't like that.
So you could eat off the streets.
You could really eat off the streets. You know,
Would
something.
you?
Well, I suppose if I lost part of my meal, I'd get it back up.
And then how was the Grand Ole Opry itself?
Well, the Grand Ole Opry was just more than what you can imagine. Breathtaking.
Yeah.
Beautiful shows.
Did you see
Beautiful
it?
costumes that they used to wear.
Right.
Years ago, the girls dressed really like it was quite a show. I mean, kind of back like the Lawrence Welk shows where the girls were dressed like young ladies. They were so
Yeah.
cute. I love that stuff.
Well, you know, I'm looking at the clock and we're running out of time, Barbie. So I'd like to say thank you again to our wonderful crew. We had a great crew again today. You know, a great crew who's done a great job doing some new things that we tried this week and trying out some new positions and also working on I didn't have things as together as I usually like to have them. So thank you so much for your patience and for all your hard work and you guys have done a terrific job. I want to thank you, Barbie.
Yeah, but don't forget to let them know that
Oh, that's
they've got
right.
treats up here.
That's right. There are treats
yes,
for the
there's-
crew,
yeah.
mints and things.
Mints and
Yep.
got to come out with the green.
But again, I want to thank you. I want to thank Wally again for all of his help getting the pictures and everything
Joyce,
together.
I
And
think
Joyce. We got
Oh, we
he had for
forgot
Joyce.
one thing though.
What did we forget?
We have to say it real quick.
What's that?
What was Wally's favorite food and
Oh,
what was Joyce's?
what was Wally's favorite food
Okay,
and what was Joyce's favorite
Wally's,
food?
to be quick on this, I'd like to get kind of lengthy in my talking, but Wally's meal that he liked his mother
Mm-hmm.
making was fried chicken, and then she'd make dumplings and then put them together, and I guess it was just delicious. And when you're speaking of her good cooking, then the other thing that Joyce, it kind of racked her brain for, what in the heck? And I says, okay, homemade, I mean from
Mm-hmm.
scratch, is scalloped potatoes that were really delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about the old-fashioned cooking, you know, it
Mm-hmm.
really was good stuff. I can taste some of the stuff my mother used to fix. And I think, how can I almost still taste it? But there's just something about that.
There
It
is.
does it to you.
And I wish I could have tasted some of Margaret's cooking.
I wish
really
I
do.
could have some of her potato salad.
So we're gonna say goodbye for now. But here's what I'm thinking: if we can go to camera 2, Barbie, could you send us out on a yodel?
you really are.
I think they're.
You really tested me, aren't you? Yodeling, hoo, oh, la, la, ooh.
Good night, everybody.